on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire Podcast. My name is Kendall Bowman, and ladies and gentlemen, we've got cyber attacks everywhere. Cyber attacks across the board all day long. It's been nothing but cyber attacks. We all know about the AT&T deal where AT&T was down along with several other companies. It looks like several other companies were down as well on top of AT&T. And that one has not specifically been confirmed as a cyber attack, though we are going to get into the investigations that are going on around that. However, there was a confirmed cyber attack against several pharmacies nationwide. So we're going to be talking about that, as well as talking about a second story where Microsoft has literally come out and admitted that they pay black and brown employees more money than they pay their white employees. Oh boy. If there are not lawsuits over this, man, I don't think our DAs are doing their jobs. But let's get into it. From Fox Business, pharmacies nationwide face delays as healthcare tech company reports cyber attack. Pharmacies across the country are reporting delays to prescription orders due to a cyber attack against one of the nation's largest healthcare technology companies. Change Healthcare, a company handling orders and patient payments throughout the U.S., first noticed the cybersecurity issue affecting its networks Wednesday morning on the East Coast. Change Healthcare is experiencing a network interruption related to a cybersecurity issue, and our experts are working to address the matter. Once we became aware of the outside threat, in the interest of protecting our partners and patients, we took immediate action to disconnect our systems to prevent further impact, Change Healthcare said in a statement. Pharmacies across the country have put out notices that the attack on Change Healthcare is disrupting their ability to process patients' orders. We are experiencing a temporary pharmacy outage at the 22nd Medical Group. We understand the inconvenience this may cause and appreciate your patience as we work diligently to resolve the issue. Our team is working to restore complete pharmacy services as soon as possible, reads a post from 22nd Medical Group, a medical center based around McConnell Air Force Base in Kansas. The estimated date for resolving this issue will be tomorrow or later. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates on our progress tomorrow or later. Ladies and gentlemen, that is dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. This is the pharmacies where people get their medicine from. Could you imagine being a diabetic? You are out of medicine. You go to the pharmacy to get new medicine, and they are not able to give it to you because they no longer have your information. Their systems are down. Nothing is working. And you are a diabetic out of medicine, and you could die. You could very easily die. Or you could get even more sick than you already are. I have many family members who are diabetic. Guys, this is dangerous. This is unacceptable that this would happen. And ultimately, the only people that we can blame I guess we could blame this company for not taking cybersecurity more into question. And I get it. I've done quite a decent amount of research on this. Cybersecurity defense is so much more difficult than cybersecurity offense. When you look at the ways that these hackers are able to get into these systems, it's actually very simple, and it's very easy for people within these companies to fall into. Okay, so I get it. It's very difficult, but this is a level of our infrastructure that is so important. It can't be attacked in this way. This has to be something where there must be more protections, and companies have to take more precautions in terms of keeping stuff like this from happening. Stuff like this cannot happen. People can get sick. People can die. People have illnesses that they need medicine to have to deal with. Guys, this is unacceptable. Let's continue. There is currently no publicly available report on the nature nor origin of the cybersecurity issue plaguing Change Healthcare. There is a nationwide outage from some of the largest prescription processors in North America. Michigan-based Canadian Lakes Pharmacy wrote Wednesday on social media. The announcement continued, "We can receive your RX, but most insurance plans we cannot bill to your insurance company. If you can wait a day or so to pick up your RX, that would be great. If you need it today, we can do our best to accommodate individual needs. Knight's Pharmacy in Berea, Kentucky wrote, as of this morning, we are still unable to process prescriptions to insurance due to the cyber attack on Change Healthcare. So people are not able to use their insurance to purchase their medicine. Guys, do you have any idea how expensive medicine is in this country? It's vastly expensive. It's vastly more expensive than other countries across the world. This insurance is so important for people to be able to use so that they can purchase their medicine. Many times without the insurance, the medicine is too expensive for the average American to be able to purchase, especially in poorer communities. Guys, it's like I just said. This infrastructure is so important. I don't know. And you guys can tell me down in the comments if I'm wrong. I feel like there needs to be some kind of legislation that forces these companies. Not, there shouldn't be any type of, government coming in and the government's doing the enforcement. No. I feel like there needs to be an enforcement of these companies need to be legislated to the point where they are forced to hire some kind of cybersecurity company or hire some type of cybersecurity analyst to make sure that their systems are secure at all times. Whatever needs to be done. I don't know. I'm not a big tech guy, okay? I get that. I understand that. So it might sound like some of the things that I'm saying don't really make sense. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I don't know, man. Like what do you do about this? I mean, ultimately, and we're going to get into this, there's Chinese hackers, there's Russian hackers that are coming at us 24/7. And it feels like we're just always on the defensive. Now, I don't know what it would look like to go on the offensive. That would probably be an act of war and nukes would fly. I don't want that. But ultimately, something has got to be done to put a stop to this because this is dangerous, man. If people are not able to get access to the medicine that they need, people can die. Or at least people can get very sick, and it can cause mass suffering. We don't want that, ultimately. Now, this is the confirmed cyber attack that happened as of today. This is Thursday, the 22nd. From the New York Post, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon users hit by massive cellular outage in U.S. as one carrier reveals cause. Now, I'm sure that many of you probably experienced some kind of stuff that's going on today. You probably saw it in the news or you probably saw it on Twitter or whatever. I have AT&T, guys. I have AT&T and my phone had no issues working throughout the day. But I want to say there was something like 80,000 people that experienced outages today with their service provider. There was other companies that were experiencing outages around the same time. Bro, even Starlink was having outages around the same time as these other companies, and this is what it makes it look like. This probably wasn't just an accident. This probably was a cyber attack. But let's get into it. Let's see what they have to say. A major cell phone outage affected users across the U.S. early Thursday, even stopping some police departments from being able to receive 911 calls. Are you seeing how this is pretty freaking dangerous? I hope you're all seeing this. AT&T seemed to have experienced the largest number of issues with nearly 32,000 reports at around 4:30 a.m., according to data from Down Detector, which tracks outages by collating? I think that might be a typo. I could be wrong. My English sucks. Okay. By collating status, I think it's collecting. By collecting status reports from sources, including user-submitted errors on its platform. Okay, so my English doesn't suck. Let's continue. More than 800 service outages were also reported on T-Mobile and Verizon, although a spokesperson for the latter put it down to users reporting problems trying to call people with other services. It took more than 13 hours for AT&T to resolve this issue, which the company chalked up to a system overwhelm. Wow. Hold on. So you're telling me your system got overwhelmed at 4:30 in the morning when everyone's asleep, I'm not buying it. Just, like, I don't know, guy. I mean, I haven't read too much in the article yet, but let's be honest here. That doesn't sound like it makes sense. I gotta be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. That's fine. But that sounds like the worst excuse. Oh, our system got overwhelmed at 4:30 a.m. while everybody was asleep, and Yeah, I'm just not buying it. Let's continue. Based on our initial review, we believe that today's outage was caused by the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network, not a cyber attack, the company said in a statement. We are continuing our assessment of today's outage to ensure we keep delivering the service that our customers deserve. Others reported issues on smaller carriers, including Boost Mobile, Consumer Cellular, Straight Talk Wireless, and Cricket Wireless, the latter of which is owned by AT&T. Now, in terms of the excuse that they give here, there's all types of reasons why they might want to give an excuse that does not include a cyber attack. Because a company that you give all of your information to, like AT&T, if they come out and say, oh, our system sucks and it allowed this cyber attack to happen, well, for one, their stock is going to drop, which they don't want, and people are probably going to go to another carrier, which they don't want either. They have all the reason in the world to lie and say that this was not a cyber attack. So, I got to be honest, I don't trust these people. I really don't. Now, that being said, the FBI is currently looking into this. We got this from the Daily... Oh, sorry. I apologize. It's later on down in this article. The FBI is looking into this into this right now. And I'm going to be honest, I don't trust them either. I really don't trust them either. We might get lies from them too. So ultimately, we have no idea whether what these people are telling us is going to be the truth or not. But let's continue. The problems extended from New York, Boston, and Atlanta on the East Coast to Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, Seattle, and San Francisco, and even to Montreal in Canada. Several police stations throughout the country even warned that people might be unable to call to report emergencies. However, many AT&T users said they were stuck in SOS mode, in which they could only reach emergency services. A spokeswoman for AT&T encouraged users to rely on Wi-Fi, yada, yada, yada. A spokeswoman for AT&T said the company is working urgently to restore service. By 11:30 a.m., the company announced that 3/4 of its network had been restored. Full service was restored by 2:15 p.m. We sincerely apologize to them. Keeping our customers connected remains our top priority, and we are taking steps to ensure our customers do not experience this again in the future, yada, yada, yada. Now, this might surprise none of you, as I would assume. It probably surprises none of you. But of course, we have this story from the Daily Mail. FBI director warns China's computer attacks are now at a scale greater than we'd seen before, as vulnerable critical infrastructure remains at high risk to be targeted. This article was posted on February 18th, just a few days before this attack happened. Let's see what he had to say. China's cyber attacks have grown to a scale greater than we'd seen before, the FBI director has advised, amid fears that U.S. infrastructure is under threat. As we have seen today, it is. It absolutely is being threatened in some way. We know that we have confirmed already that at least one of these issues, specifically with the pharmacy, was a cyber attack. It likely was China. Okay? Now, obviously, it could be other sources. It could be Iran. It could be Russia. It could be, I don't know, the freaking deep state hates American values. It could be that. It could be a lot of different people, guys. Ultimately, this is really difficult to track down. And ultimately, if I had to guess, I'd say we're probably not going to get a definitive answer on who was to blame for this. But Let's continue. Christopher Wray gave the grave warning as intelligence chiefs and politicians met at the Munich annual security conference on Sunday, according to the Wall Street Journal. The wars raging in Ukraine and the Middle East were the focus of the conference, but Wray urged leaders not to lose sight of a subtler menace. He said Beijing's plan to secretly plant technology inside the U.S. critical infrastructure has become a significant threat to national security. Wray cited Volt Typhoon, the moniker given to the Chinese hacking network that infiltrated the U.S. last year, but said it's only the tip of the iceberg. Let's continue. It's one of many such efforts by the Chinese, he told the conference. Wray added that China is increasingly inserting offensive weapons within our critical infrastructure, poised to attack whenever Beijing decides the time is right. Under Volt Typhoon, Beijing's military have burrowed into more than 20 major suppliers in the last year alone, including a water utility in Hawaii, a major West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline, analysts revealed weeks ago. They have bypassed elaborate cybersecurity systems by intercepting passwords and logins unguarded by junior employees, leaving China sitting on a stockpile of strategic vulnerabilities. Oh boy, man, I don't know what to say. Like, where do you go from here, man? Where do you go from here? Like, how on earth are we as American citizens supposed to trust these companies that we give our information to? How are we supposed to trust our government that we give our information to when the FBI director just outright came out and said, like, look, they're already here, man. They're already here. These Chinese hacking groups, they're already here. Now, you add that on top of, what are the Russian hacking groups doing? What are the Iranian hacking groups doing? What about name any company that hate North Korea, any country that hates us, just put them on the list. They're probably trying to hack our infrastructure. Okay, this is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're at. How on earth are we supposed to trust our government? How are we supposed to trust these companies? I think the reality is that we can't. I think we can't. So what do you have to do? Ultimately, you have to be a little more prepared, okay? What does that look like? It looks like you should probably not be living in major cities. For example, the U.S. military, this was several years ago. The U.S. military did war games on what would happen if the entire U.S. power grid went down. They estimated that about 90% of the U.S. population would die within the first year. 90%. And the reason for this is that I don't think we fully understand just how reliant we are on electricity. We are. Almost everything we do in our daily lives is almost completely and totally reliant on some form of electricity. The power grid goes down, you get none of that. Then, of course, you have the idea of some kind of EMP and stuff, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking specifically about cyber attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand something. The mechanisms, the infrastructure that we get in order to build our power grid, not our semiconductors. There's some type of infrastructure that we get from China in order to build our power grid, or at least in order to replace broken parts from our power grid. Okay, all of that comes from China. So literally, all China needs to do, and this is specifically what FBI director is talking about here when he says we're buying the stuff to replace the broken parts of our infrastructure from China. all the parts that we need, all of the stuff that goes into fixing our infrastructure, we get that from China. So it wouldn't be very difficult for a Chinese company or for the CCP to go to a Chinese company and say, you're going to start putting this in your products. And when they put it into their infrastructure, now China has control over our power grid. Guys, that would not be hard at all. It wouldn't be hard at all. And like Christopher Wray said, they've got access they've got access to passwords and all of they're sitting on top of all of our infrastructure, just waiting for the right moment. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be prepared. Ultimately, you need to be prepared. You need to have stores of food. You need to have stores of water. You need to probably have some ability to gain more food afterwards, maybe a significantly sized garden, something, okay? And I get it. This isn't feasible for everybody. But at least, I would say this, you at least need some way to be able to defend yourself, okay? The best weapon that you can have to defend yourself is an AR-15, okay? And I get it. All the left-wing dinguses out there go, oh, he's promoting, gun violence. No, I'm not promoting gun violence. I'm promoting self-defense. Okay? I am promoting that if China, as FBI Director Christopher Wray is saying, he said it, not me. He said it, not me. I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. Okay? The messenger is saying you should probably be prepared. Go get yourself an AR-15. Go get the ammunition that you need. Go buy emergency food. Go buy emergency water. Be prepared, guys. Because this stuff, it's happening right in front of your face. It's right there for everybody to see. Okay? So I think we as Americans, we need to do our due diligence. We need to do our research. But then as it's right in front of our face, we need to be prepared. We need to do what's right for us. We need to do what's right for our families. It's obvious that they don't have control over this. The government, they don't have control over this. We've seen dozens of cyber attacks over the last several years. Dozens that have directly targeted our major infrastructure, pipelines. Guys, this is extremely important. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not. I don't want everyone to die. Okay? That's all I want. That's all I just want the least amount of people to die. The way that you do that is by preparing ahead of time. Okay? There's a story in the Bible about Joseph. Okay? Story of Joseph in the Bible. I've been reading about it recently. Joseph in the Bible. He becomes one of the higher ups in the kingdom of Egypt, okay? He's right under the Pharaoh. And he goes to Pharaoh and he says, we need to create all of these food stores of grain because there's going to be a big famine, okay? And so all over the country, they create these massive stores of grain. And guess what? The famine came and very few people died from the famine because they prepared ahead of time. Okay? I think that we should do our due diligence and that we should do what is best for our families, which is to be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to fearmonger. I'm not saying that this AT&T debacle was a cyber attack. That's not what I'm saying. But ultimately, we don't know yet. We really don't know yet. So I think we got to do what's best for us, man. I think we need to be prepared. I think we need to be doing what's best for us and for our families. So that is all I've got to say about that. Now, we have this story. Oh, boy. This is from Libs of Tik Tok. I'm going to try to zoom in here and give you guys the best image of this that I can. Maybe you can, that kind of takes away what I'm looking at. Okay, let's just get into it. Libs of Tik Tok. Holy ish. Sorry, guys. Family-friendly show. In Microsoft's official 2023 Diversity and Inclusion Report, they openly admit that they are paying white people less than other ethnic groups in the name of pay equity. Wow, man. Wow. This has gone a little out of control. A little out of control. Let's read. This is directly from Microsoft. This says, our core Microsoft business. Okay, then it goes on to say, as of September 2023, inside the U.S., all racial and ethnic minority groups who are rewards eligible combined earned $1.07 total pay for every dollar earned by U.S. rewards eligible white employees with the same job title and level and considering tenure. Man. Okay? Specifically for those who are rewards eligible, U.S. Black and African American employees earn $1.04. Hispanic and Latinx employees earn $1.04. And Asian employees earn $1.12 for every dollar earned by U.S. rewards eligible white employees with the same job title and level and considering tenure. Ladies and gentlemen, the wokeness has gotten out of control to the point where we are literally going backwards. They say that this is in the name of equity. It's a lie. This is in the name of racism. Okay? I want you to, and the reason you can tell that this is in the name of racism is just switch the races. I want you to imagine if Microsoft had come out and said that they were paying white employees more than Black, Hispanic, or Asian employees. There would be riots in the streets, and there would be cities burned to the ground. This is the reality. This is a fact. Guys, this is not in the name of equity. This is not in the name of equality. This is not in the name of anything except we hate white people. I know that you guys might have seen a lot of Google's new AI that they put out. I forget what it's called. It starts with a G, something, whatever. But yeah, it's quite racist. In fact, it refuses to show images of white people when you ask for it. For example, if you wanted to say, show me an image of a white hockey player, it will say, I can't do that because that is based off of someone's ethnicity. But then in the very next sentence, if you say, show me an image of a black hockey player, it has no problem doing that. Okay? It's gotten out of control. This is blatant racism. This is blatant discrimination. This is a blatant attack against white people in this country. And I don't know how you deal with this, man. Because ultimately, this is not helping the race relations in this country. This is not bringing white people closer to black people. The only thing that this is going to do is make more racists. That's all this is going to do. Like, I want you to imagine that you are say you're a 25-year-old white guy. You just graduated from college and you go and you get a job at Microsoft. Now, they probably won't even hire you. If they're being this racist towards white people in terms of pay, they're probably not just going to hire you anyways. But let's say you get the job. And then you find out that black people, Hispanic people, and Asian people that work at Microsoft are all being paid more than you based off of your skin color. Now, what is that gonna tell you? That you got two paths there. You got two paths that you can go down, or you can just choose to combine the paths and do both, which is one path is I'm going to hate all of these people that are getting paid more than me, or I'm going to hate this company that is acting in a racist way towards me. Or both. You're going to hate all of them, all of the above. Either way, this only creates more racism. That's all it does. Because a white person who was not around when slavery happened, was not around when Jim Crow happened, was not around when any of this racism stuff was going on in this country, never owned a slave, never did anything to any, never been a racist a day in their life, now suddenly is very angry at all of these races because why am I getting paid less? Because of the color of my skin. Do you see the dilemma here? This is only going to create more hatred towards Black, Hispanic, and Asian communities from the white community. Because the white community is being directly attacked by these companies and, in some cases, by these communities. This does not work, guys. The only thing that will work is if we have a merit-based society. A merit-based society where those who work the hardest and prove that they are the best at what they do, they get the most pay. Whether that is a white person, a black person, Hispanic person, Asian person, whatever. Doesn't matter what race they are. Doesn't matter. If you're the best at what you should do, no matter your race, you should get paid for it. If you are a black woman and you are the top heart surgeon in the world, you deserve to get paid more than anybody else out there. Any other heart surgeon, because you're the best. You worked hard. You earned that mess. You deserve to get paid more because you're the best. Meritocracy. This is what we want. And don't say, for heaven's sakes, don't sit here and tell me, oh, black people, Hispanic people, they come from poorer communities. By the way, if you're just thinking like if you think of a black person and you just automatically assume that they come from a poor community, you're racist. Okay, like I grew up in many different public schools where there was a lot of black kids, and I gotta tell you, a lot of those kids were not coming from poor communities. Okay, a lot of the black kids that I grew up with did not come from poor communities. Now there were some, absolutely, but there was a lot that didn't. Okay, so assuming that a black or a Hispanic person who it just automatically comes from a poor community, that's a pretty racist thing to assume. But I digress. This is only creating more racism. It's only creating more. I don't know where we go from here, man. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't. Ultimately, it should be a merit-based society. I mean, guys, look at guys like Ben Carson. For anybody that has read Ben Carson's book, I believe it's called Gifted Hands. Okay. And I haven't read it in full, but I know the premise. It's basically his life story where he was raised in a home with a single mom. He grew up in a terrible neighborhood. His mom didn't know how to read. He taught himself how to read. Okay. Guys, he went from that situation, very, very low income, very, very low opportunity, and he worked his butt off. Now he's one of the best brain surgeons in the world. I believe he's the leading brain surgeon in the world. Guys, ultimately, look, is it going to be more difficult for you if you come from a low-income family? Yeah, it probably is. And that sucks. That's hard. I get that. I'm not hating on that. But you cannot tell me that discriminating against people based on their race is better. I'm just never going to agree with that. I wouldn't agree with it if it were the 1800s. I'm just not going to agree with that. I'm not going to agree that that pay based on race is better than meritocracy. That if you're the best and you work the hardest, then you get paid the most. That's how our society should be. I don't know, man. I really don't know where we go from here. I don't know how this ends. Actually, you know what? I do know how this ends. If this is allowed to continue, our country ceases to exist. That's the reality. Because at some point, white people are going to get sick of this. They're going to get sick of it. Like, where is the incentive for anyone to work hard? Where is the incentive? Where is it? There's no incentive to work hard. Oh, you're telling me I'm gonna get paid less than these people, even if I work harder, even if I'm more qualified, even if I'm the best? You're telling me I'm still gonna get paid less just because of the color of my skin? Well, then screw off. I'll go work for somebody who isn't gonna do that to me. And ultimately, we are seeing a parallel economy come alive. You look at companies like Public Square. They are slowly but surely becoming a non-woke Amazon. It's a fact. It's a reality. I mean, you know, obviously they're not there yet. I mean, they're not Amazon yet, of course. But Public Square is growing very fast. And they're making hundreds of millions, possibly into the billions of dollars. Guys, the parallel economy is there. And ultimately, I think that we can go one of two ways with this. Ultimately, we can continue on with the racism against white people that we're seeing in this country right now, which of course is unacceptable. If this were flipped around, like I said, there would be riots in the street, so this is unacceptable. Or we can support companies that are not racist and that support meritocracy and that support people who work hard and who actually want to give their best for a company and help to make a company successful. I don't know, man. I don't know which way America is going to choose, but ultimately, that's up to us. That's up to us, the people. For example, Microsoft. I'm never gonna buy another Microsoft product again. I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna buy a laptop from Microsoft again. I'm never gonna buy a tablet from Microsoft. It's not gonna happen. They're paying white employees less just because they're white. They outright admit it in this statement. What you want me to support that? You want me to support blatant racism? I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't support it if it was the other way around. If this were Black, Hispanic, and Asian people being discriminated against and Microsoft was being racist towards them, I still wouldn't support it. So I'm definitely not going to support it now. Either way, I wouldn't support this. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. We've got a choice to make. Are we going to continue giving our money to these garbage companies that hate you? Or are we going to get with the program? And are we going to be better? Are we going to put our money where our mouth is? You know, we claim to hate racism, yet we're supporting a racist company. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. Can't be me. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys probably on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.